And you know what's one great saint? He lived in the end of 18th century, Seraphim of Sarov, the Orthodox Christian saint. And he said wonderful thing. Okay, it goes like that. First you have to reach the state of salvation yourself. Then only thousands of the people around you will reach salvation also because of you. But you can't speak about spirituality or speak about salvation if you yourself don't know how to reach you don't have this. How can you share? You know, his instruction was like, you can't help the people if you don't know how to help yourself. So it means that first you have to manage your lives, then next step you can serve to the people. Because it's also ego trick when people start to help, so-called help people, but clearly they don't know how to help themselves. So that means service to the people is the last final step. Okay, and let us say a few words, some practical things about how to set goals. First of all goals must be written. If you let us say just sit nicely and say, well, I have goals. Okay, I want this, that, and something else. I have my life purpose and I just want all that. If it is not on the piece of paper, it means absolutely nothing for your subconscious mind. Only written goals are real. It means, okay, you have take pen and piece of paper, or you can use computer. That's doesn't matter, but it must be written. And it's extremely interesting that now in our modern culture we have huge number of videos and books and workshops about the success principles, and all teachers, all authors, they say about written goals, but only a small number of people really take piece of paper and write goals, and that's mystery. We may try to explain that, but it's mystery. Many people know about power of that, but still they don't do it. And even I have my friends who are learning meditation from me, and I'm always keep on saying, okay, you have to write your goals. And most of them, they don't have, even after a few years of my intensive lectures, personal advices, they don't have this. And it means impossible to make the next step if you don't have written goals. Then next, well, if we'll speak about it quite according to the Kriya Yoga, then we have to write goals on the level of all 7 chakras. But at the same time, if to explain this more in a simple terminology, I like to speak about 5 major categories. Actually, they somehow about chakras, but if we'll just speak about 5 main categories, that's much easier to work with, to understand. The first is spirituality. Okay, set goals about your spiritual life. What is the meaning of that? Okay, what kind of things you want to achieve in your okay, for example, to achieve Kichari Mudra. That's a very good goal. To be more conscious in your lucid dreams. Okay, that's a spiritual goal. For example, to learn Sanskrit calligraphy. For example, to be able to practice meditation in lotus posture for a long time. For example, to read, let us say, 50 books this year about spirituality. That's all kind of simple goals. To make, I don't know, 100 videos about spirituality. So that's the first category. Second category is intellectual and creative. Actually, this is your life purpose. And let me say that sometimes people mixing life purpose with meditation and self-inquiry, and that is not. Okay, some Indian masters, by the way, in a traditional Indian society, they don't understand what has been life purpose. Now, modern, young generation of Indians, they know what has been life purpose. But more traditional Indians, they just can't understand the question. And I saw it like quite many times when some people may come to a certain Indian guru or Indian meditation master, Indian astrologer, and ask questions about life purpose. Most of the Indian gurus and astrologers, they can't understand the question. And they start to say, okay, your life purpose is to meditate, to practice self-inquiry, and reach the state of enlightenment. But that's a huge mistake, because life purpose is slightly different. It's not about self-inquiry. When people ask, okay, then how can I...
Why it's not self-inquiry? There is yogis who go to Himalayas whole life and just meditate.
Well, okay, let us take as example Ramana Maharshi. Let us take as example Buddha Shakyamuni. Okay. For example, Ramana Maharshi, he started his self-inquiry when he was some 14, 16, 17 years old. Then he came to Arunachala mountain, then he spent years in the caves like Virupaksha and Skanda Ashram. And that was his self-inquiry and personal meditation process. Then this existence, this absolute consciousness, pushed him to the service, to the step of service. And that was his life purpose. I mean, somebody came and said, okay, give us spiritual instructions. Okay, somebody came and said, okay, this piece of land, we give it to you, please construct ashram. And Ramana Maharshi was himself supervising this construction. We have even pictures of that. Then, he himself was managing kitchen, and he was the main chef, cook in the ashram. That's funny, yeah, but he was cooking every second day in the ashram. And his work with the people, his service, was his life purpose. Okay, Buddha Shakyamuni, he himself was in a state of spiritual self-inquiry for many years. Then he reached the state of enlightenment. But then he came to the people, to the public, and he established, Sangha, community. He gave a lot of discourses, instructions about meditation. That was his life purpose. And, yeah, there are yogis in Himalayas. I don't want to discuss them because Okay, just today we spoke about Pilot Babaji. He spent years in Himalayas, but then he came back to the people. He established like number of ashrams. He is working with the disciples. You know, like he is doing his service to the people. That is his life purpose.